In this video, we will see how to create an e-commerce website by on Framework360. As we have seen in other tutorials, to create an e-commerce website on Framework360, there are two possibilities. Basically, we need to distinguish between the possibility of selling a single product or selling multiple products. Depending on what we need to do, we might decide whether to use the entire e-commerce system or just some functionalities. In fact, to create an e-commerce website with a single product, like a sales page, we would just need to go into the website and then check out. Once we have set up our checkout, as we saw in the dedicated tutorial, it will be enough to go into the cart, select manually, and add a new single product, or even more than one, but all directly in the checkout. If instead we wanted to create a much more complex e-commerce website with many product references, we would need to do what we are about to see in this tutorial. First of all, we need to install the e-commerce plugin. To install the e-commerce plugin, we go under Customization, Plugins, and then search for e-commerce. As we can see, the entire multi-product e-commerce system, let's call it that, is encapsulated within a single plugin called Ecommerce. Let's install it by clicking on Install, and okay, the functionality has been installed correctly. As we can see on the left, a section called e-commerce will have opened, allowing us to expand our website. With all the multi-product functionalities, such as products, product categories, attributes, and management of tags. Additionally, the plugin preferences will have opened, under plugin preferences and then e-commerce. Let's take a detailed look at everything. Let's start with the e-commerce preferences. First of all, we can see that the review system is manageable. Basically, this allows customers to leave a review on the product once they have purchased and received it. After a few days, Framework360 will ask the customer to leave a review on the product page. By default, it remains deactivated because we may not always want it to be active. As we can see, in fact, on the right, we also find the option to moderate reviews. Basically, when a review is left by the customer, we will have the option to accept it or not, depending, of course, on whether we like it or not. If the review, for example, is too negative, we can choose not to approve it. To do this, we should keep this review moderation system active. Furthermore, we can also see that there is the possibility to update the inventory according to certain conditions. For example, if we want to decrease the quantity of products available in stock only when the product is actually purchased and paid for, then we should keep this setting selected, which is obviously the most common. Whereas, for example, if we want to decrease the quantity of products purchased by the customer before the customer actually pays for it, then we should change the setting to decrease quantity at order creation. In practice, when the checkout creates an order, even if the customer does not actually pay on PayPal or Stripe, the system still decreases the quantity. And this is used, for example, when you want to prevent other customers from ordering the same product at the same time. Someone is accessing the payment method only to find the stock empty. Let's proceed with the overview of the features by going into the e-commerce plugin. By accessing the product section, for example, we will have the option to add a product. As we can see, there are several settings here, which is why we recommended activating the plugin if there are many products to be added. If it is indeed a multi-product e-commerce website with many references, we strongly recommend installing this plugin. In fact, it is necessary. As we can see among the settings, we have the option to give a name to the product, a category such as shoes, scarves, sweaters, etc. Here we will have the section to manage the product's price. We can see, in fact, that it will be mandatory to enter a price, even zero if we want to make it free. We could apply the tax. Taxes are always available under Settings, Sales Taxes. We obviously could refer to the video tutorial dedicated to taxes. Additionally, we will have the option to discount the item if we want this product to have a price of, for example, 100 euros, but a promotional price for a certain period. As we can see, there is also the possibility to set an expiration date for the promotion, and the promotional price will automatically be removed from the site. For example, we could enter 90 euros as the promotional price, with the promotion expiring now at the end of the month. Additionally, we will have the option to repeat the promotion if we want to encourage scarcity, which is a marketing technique used by some brands like Poltron Sofa, offering special prices only at the end of the month or only on weekends. However, the promotion is repeated, so we could decide whether to repeat it and how many times. Of course, it will be repeated based on the period we have established. Therefore, if we set the promotion's expiration date as April 30th, and we repeat the promotion for 10 days, it will be renewed for another 10 days starting from April 30th. Be careful because the promotion will be repeated indefinitely, as long as this field is filled. So if we set it to 10 days after the expiration, the promotion will be renewed every 10 days. Moving on, as we saw earlier, there is the possibility to manage the inventory here. If for this product, which could be, for example, Nike Air Force shoes, we have an inventory quantity of 50 pairs, then we should simply click Manage Inventory and enter the available quantity. Every time a purchase is made, this value will be automatically reduced, and we will find, for example, 49, 48, and so on. 49, 48, and so on. Here we can enter, for example, the minimum purchasable quantity if we want the customer to buy a minimum number of pairs to purchase this pair of shoes. This is useful, for example, when it comes to wholesale selling. If we have 5,000 pairs available, but we want the minimum quantity to be 50, then the customer will only be able to purchase this pair of Air Force shoes in blocks of 50. In blocks of 50, precisely, if we keep this setting checked. If we remove it, beyond the minimum quantity of 50, they can purchase, for example, 51, 52, as long as they buy at least 50 pairs. As we can see below, we will have the short description and the extended description. In practice, these descriptions will appear on the product page or wherever we want them to appear, based on how we have set it up, as we will see when we look at the article page on the site's visual builder. The short description is precisely a description that appears to the customer in Scienza to quickly understand what type of product it is, while the extended description is the more detailed description with all the information regarding perhaps the fabric, the country of origin of the item, and many other details. Let's move on to the second tab where we can see attributes and variations. Here we will have the possibility to select the product attributes if we want this product to have variations. For example, in color, size, or other aspects. We can manage the attributes and variations under e-commerce and then attributes. As we can see here, we will click Add and we can set, for example, color, attribute type colors, so that the option to select the exact color with a color picker will appear. And here we could enter, for example, red. It will automatically take the word. We entered and recognize it automatically. If we want to change the X, we can always do it now here. We could also decide whether to use the colors directly in the variations. So, different colors will be shown on the product, such as green, red, white, etc. And we could select before purchase to then receive, for example, in this case, the Air Force shoe in green or white. We could also decide to use this attribute we are creating in the filters. Filters are precisely those values that we can click on during a product search. Ito, for example, on the shoe category page, to filter all the shoes that have the color white available or the color green. Let's save as well. Within attributes and variations, we could now select color as an attribute, for example. Within attributes and variations, we could now select color. By doing so, we could select which colors this product has, for example, red and white. At the bottom, we can manage the preview image of the red Air Force, the code, if it has a different code from the parent product, the available quantity of the red or white Air Force, the price, if indeed that single variation changes in price, because sometimes it happens that a white shoe costs, for example, 100 euros, but a red one costs 90 euros because maybe it's a less purchased color and therefore costs less. In short, here we will have the ability to manage all the features of the product we are putting up for sale. Enable custom field, on the other hand, is a setting that allows you to add a field that must be selected or not, i.e. by the customer before proceeding to clearly purchase the product. We will see this later when we actually go to build the e-commerce site pages. In the first tab, as we can see, we also find information regarding the product code, the EAN code, and the weight in kg in case we are selling a product that has a type of shipping that varies based on weight. We could also decide to highlight the product if we want it to be added, for example, to the home page of the website. We could also define what type of product we are creating by selecting standard, digital, or gift card. The standard product is any product that can be shipped, whereas the digital product is any product that must be downloaded. In fact, here, a downloadable file option will open, and we could select, for example, a PDF that the customer can download once purchased, or a gift card. The gift card, in fact, is a code that is generated and can be given as a gift to be used on the e-commerce website. For example, we could generate a landing page that allows the customer to purchase a gift card, which they can then send via WhatsApp or email to the people they want to gift this coupon to, which can be used on our e-commerce website. In this tutorial, we will look at the standard product. Moving forward, as we saw, there is the third tab for related items, where we will have the possibility to select other items besides the one we are creating, which can be offered to the customer as upsell or cross-sell. What is the difference? Upsell is fundamentally an upgrade of a product, such as a similar shoe model but more expensive, which might be the premium version. For example, it could be a basic Air Force shoe, but an upsell, we could offer an Air Force shoe signed by a soccer or basketball player. By offering it to the customer, we might increase the purchase receipt because the customer decides not to take the basic version but to take the upgrade. Meanwhile, cross-sell is fundamentally the proposal during the purchase phase of a product related to the one the customer is clearly looking at. For example, if we are selling a pair of shoes, a cross-sell could be selling a pair of socks. In the next tab, there is clearly the possibility to upload different images of the product. In this case, we have already preloaded some images through this input, and we are selecting them. We can select more than one. In this case, I only have one, so we can go ahead and select it. Air Force. In this case, white. As we saw earlier, if we want to change the preview image based on the color chosen by the customer, we just need to click here and select the image, then upload the image of the Air Force, in this case, red or white, like the one we have already uploaded. Moving forward in the SEO tab, we will have the opportunity to manage the title tag and the description tag to decide how it will appear on the search engine. In this case, Google Sono will display it as Nike Air Force shoe, taking the title from what I entered in the first tab. However, here we could decide to, for example, insert in Nike Air Force shoe on sale, for instance. In the description tag, for example, Nike shoes at the best price, but here it is clearly recommended to put a description that is appealing to attract attention when a customer searches for this type of product. By doing so, they will choose to click on our website instead of clicking on that of the competitors. Indexing, on the other hand, allows, as we saw in other tutorials, to de-index the page from search engines and to apply the nofollow tag to prevent the search engine from following it online. Let's go to the last tab, which is the social tab. In the social tab, we will have the opportunity to manage how this product will appear when shared on social media. The same principle as the SEO tab, but specifically for social media. Great, we can save our product and then proceed with the category section. In this case, we need to create a category called shoes because our product is indeed a pair of shoes. We can insert the shoes category and we will be able to decide on a background and various customizations for how they will appear on the site. We can also insert an image to display when, for example, we create the categories page. In this case, we are not interested in that. We just create the category and then go into the product we previously created and select it. Here it is, shoes. We create a new product by clicking on add. In this case, we go for Nike mountain shoes, for example. Let's also set a price of 67 euros here. Warehouse management is not of interest to us. In this case, we insert a short description. Mipa wa Nike war mountain shoes. Using the description we took directly from the Nike website. We always recommend not copying descriptions from other sites, of course, because otherwise Google might think they are duplicate content and penalize our product page. These are SEO concepts that one should obviously delve into before engaging in digital marketing. Here too, we select the shoes category as so and save the product page. We also add an image. In this case, we take this one and save. Great. Now, as we can see, we have entered two products, one priced at 100 euros and one at 67 euros. At this point, we have this demo website, let's say that we are using for this tutorial. And we just need to add the products directly to the site to make them purchasable. How do we do that? By going into the website pages, in this case, for example, on the home page, we can add a row and we can also delete everything else as we don't need it. We can add a row and go into the e-commerce tab, which as we see will have opened after installing the plugin, and then insert, for example, a product list. By doing so, Framework360 will tell us that it is necessary to create a block structure. The structure would be how the products should appear. Go into structure, create structure, and then edit content. In this case, we could already import a preview that we previously created for this tutorial. There you go, as we can see here. A structure has been imported, which includes an image, title, price, and button in this way. But we want to make it a carousel that scrolls from right to left. We need to go into the General tab and then go to Display. Instead of setting it to grid, we set it to carousel. Instead of carousel columns 8, we set it to 3 columns, the same for the tablet. While for mobile, as we can see here, otherwise everything would be squished, we set it to 1, so the carousel will appear this way. Here, we will have different settings, such as the ability to decide which products to show, if we want to, show products that have a minimum or maximum price. We can show products based on certain queries, like, I don't know, maybe those containing the word Nike. In this case, they all contain it. But if I put Adidas, nothing will appear because no content was found. We could insert search filters of a certain type. For example, we can include all products that have different colors available, or manually select certain products. For instance, by searching for Nike, we could select only Nike hiking shoes and only this product will appear. In short, there are really many settings based on all the needs that one clearly has. Moving forward, we could also define the sorting by title, by date, by price, by quantity, by sales, and by random things. In this case, every time a page is reloaded, the order will change, making it seem like the products are always different, even though the catalog might always be the same. Moving forward, we will have the possibility to add dots, for example, little dots that indicate that you are clearly scrolling from left to right, as we can see in classic carousels, and perhaps also arrows that allow you to scroll from left to right by clicking them. In this case, having only 2 products, they are not shown because it would be pointless, but by adding more products, the carousel will become larger and will start to scroll. We can indeed also decide to enable the loop, meaning when the number of products ends and it starts again from the first. We can decide whether to have them scroll in autoplay. Automatically, in fact, on the site they will scroll in this way. And other settings such as pagination. If we want to decide that the pagination is standard, then it will be possible to change pages with the classic numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is not ideal for SEO because it creates many practically similar or identical pages with a different number in the URL. We always recommend infinite scroll if needed. In this case, it's not necessary because we are simply creating a carousel for the homepage. This setting is useful when we create a page that actually contains all the products. The other tabs are always the usual ones from the classic visual builder of Framework360, such as Design, Display, which allows you to show or hide the block on certain devices, and then the Overlay, which allows you to display something over a section. However, in this case, we don't need it, and we can proceed by saving the page. In fact, by reloading our home page, we will have our product carousel. Framework360, during the installation phase of the e-commerce plugin, will have Daiche already created the product page in a standard version, but it is always editable as we can see here, with the quantities, etc., the ability to add the product to the cart. Clearly, we need to select the quantity, and then proceed to checkout to purchase, in this case, 9 pairs of shoes, for 67 euros at a total price of 600 euros. As we can see, we will have the opportunity to also view the reviews that have been posted on the product, and if we enable the setting, Framework360 will ask the customer, sila is a few days after the purchase, to leave a review, sima, based on their experience. We can say that our e-commerce site is already up and running. In this case, for example, we could create a page called shoes, no, to place in the menu. How do we do it? We just need to go into the menu, main menu, and then scroll down to e-commerce categories and find the category we want to display. In this case, shoes. This section also opened after installing the e-commerce plugin to, which is why, as I mentioned at the beginning, we recommend installing it if you want to create a very extensive e-commerce. We save, reload the page, and we can see that the shoes category has appeared. As we can see, all the products that are part of the shoes category will be displayed here with the attributes and subcategories on the left if there are any subcategories. These pages, I repeat, are standard pages. And we can always modify them by going to website pages and then, for example, searching for the category in this case. Category title is the shortcut that allows generating the category name in the page title. And then we see that the type is e-commerce, which was added after the plugin installation. Here, we could decide to display the page with the title, the breadcrumbs, which are clickable links that allow you to go back if you want to change the page and return to the previous path. A brief description of the category if it exists. In this case, nothing is shown because under e-commerce categories, as we can see here, by clicking on shoes, we haven't entered anything. If we enter a description and save, reloading the page, we'll show shoe category for sale because we have entered a description, and obviously, in the visual builder, we have added the block. Additionally, here we will have the possibility to see the filters if they exist. In this case, there are no search filters for the subcategories, which, if they don't exist, are clearly not shown. We could also hide the title if we don't want it to be seen. And we see that reloading the page, it will no longer exist. In short, everything is extremely manageable. Obviously, during the installation phase, a demo page is provided that can already be used to go online quickly. If we want to modify the product page instead, we just need to go under website pages. And in this case, search for product. As we can see, under the e-commerce label, product title will appear, which allows us, just like in the category, to manage colors. For example, if we want to change from gray to a different color, we can set it to blue. As we can see, black is obviously not advisable, or white, and more classic options. In this case, we'll leave it gray, and then we can decide to modify all the page contents. Additionally, we can insert related products by searching under the product tab, for example, the list of upsell products. If we, as we saw before, go back into our products and have inserted related items in upsell products like this one, we could drag the upsell list block and then manage the structure as before, always. Importing our classic ready-made block and go into general display instead of grid carousel. In this case, there are no related products because it is showing me the mountain shoe as a preview. Let's go into the mountain shoe and add an upsell here as well. Related items, upsell, and we add the Air Force as a related product. As we can see, by saving the page and reloading the product page, the related products will appear at the bottom. In this case, we can always change the columns as before and save. We reload, and here it is. Basically, when the customer is on this Air Force shoe, they will have the option to also purchase a related product that we choose to display. Obviously, once we have created our entire site with our categories in the menu, designed the layout, and perhaps highlighted products directly on the homepage with some web design skills, or we can always install one of the available themes under theme customization. There are many themes available for e-commerce. In this case, I have a blank theme because I know how to create a page design. But if someone wanted to have a ready-made template, they could install it at the initial stage. Let's now see how Framework360 allows customers to purchase a product. We go to the page of this product, for example, click Add to Cart, and now let's see how to add the cart to the menu. To do this, we need to go into the website, now under global blocks, as we saw in other tutorials. The header is a global block, meaning the section that repeats on all pages which typically contains the logo and the menu. In this case, we should add the cart. To do this, it's very simple. We add another column. Maybe we make it smaller, always open, the menu, so it doesn't become too large. And we slightly reduce the size of the logo. Okay, in the third column, we create it. We go into payments and then we find the cart. This would be the cart widget, which allows displaying the products that are added to the cart. Cart button text, OTE, we can also give it an icon. Here, we can search for cart. Okay, great, our cart is ready. Let's save, reload the page, and we will see that the cart has appeared here in the top right corner. By clicking, it will contain the products we have added, and it will also have the option to remove them from the cart and leave it empty. We access a product map. For example, we enter the minimum quantities of this product, which are at least 50, so we add 51 products. We win at 100 euros. Before adding to the cart, as we can see, we have set a limit that clearly allows the selection of the color. So, if we don't know which color should be purchased, we cannot buy the product. If we want to do a purchase test, after adding to the cart, we should, for example, add 2 pairs of these Nike mountain shoes to the cart. We see that now the cart will contain our product, which can always be changed by updating the quantity. And then, once the customer adds the product to the cart, a box will appear, allowing them to proceed to checkout to buy. Here, as we saw in the tutorial dedicated to checkouts, there is the possibility to enter the data and then proceed with the purchase by entering all the information. You can also manage the state in which we want to sell. In short, all the sales settings for the checkout, as we saw in the dedicated tutorial, they are found under sales settings. Then here we have the payment methods where we can enter, for example, web payments, PayPal, Stripe, which are the most common, but there are many others. Bank transfer, cash on delivery, if we want to allow a payment upon delivery. Then we will have the possibility to add coupon codes that can be used during the purchase phase. Here, as we can see, if I enter a coupon that doesn't exist, it will clearly say that the code doesn't exist. But if we go and create it in the appropriate section, for these two, we refer to the video dedicated to coupons. Here, as we can see, there is already a coupon that gives a 10% discount by entering the word sconto 10. If I enter sconto 10, let's see, a discount of 6.70 is applied. Additionally, we could manage the shipping. To manage the shipping, we would have free shipping with SDA Courier, which has already been created in the dedicated tutorial, no? But we could always go and enter the availability, only selected countries to decide in which countries to clearly ship, etc. In short, Framework360 really allows you to do a lot of things. You just need to clearly set everything up properly to then start working and selling online. As we can see, to close the tutorial, we can add, for example, testkiochlive.com as a fictitious PayPal account. Save it, and then we can proceed with the purchase. By clicking continue, the shipping data is the same as those entered during the billing phase. We select one of the available shipping methods, and then we can select the PayPal method. Continuing, we will see a summary, and then the customer will finally be able to pay for the products that have been added to the cart via PayPal in this case, or another method. As we can see, once the order is clearly created, even before accessing PayPal, the system creates a sale and puts it on hold for payment. From the moment the customer pays, the order is automatically changed to the status of payment received, and the order status, for example, to processing. And we could change it to be shipped, etc. Every time we change these labels, as we can see in the video dedicated to the sales module, the customer can receive an email that, for example, informs them that the product has been shipped. We could indeed click on proceed without sending an email, or proceed by sending an email